what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Footcandle Films. Film news and reviews from two guys who really like movies.
This episode is brought to you by the Footcandle Film Society. For a schedule of upcoming screenings and membership information, visit the Society's website at www.footcandle.org.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Footcandle Spotlight. This is our special little in-between the main Footcandle film shows we do every month, where if we have a film that one of us has seen and want to give a quick review of, this is our opportunity to do it, instead of waiting for the whole next big show to come out next month and making that a 3-4 hour fiasco. We'd rather carve it up into little pieces and give you a little nugget review to kind of tide you over. Kind of treat it as the appetizer before the main course later in the month. So today we're going to talk about the film. Les Mis. How grandiose do I say this? Les Miserables, Les Mis. It's Les Mis, and we're going to talk about Les Mis. Here you go.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by, when hope was high, life worth living. I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. But the tigers come at night.
So, Les Mis, I'm just going to call it that because that's what everybody in the theater scene calls it. What?
For the rest of this, I think you should actually talk in a French accent.
No. I'm definitely not going to do that. Oh, Les Miserables. I can't do that. Okay. So this film, Chris, all right, I'll just go ahead and lay it out there.
Sure.
I am not adverse to musicals. Actually, I can honestly say The Sound of Music, love it.
Okay.
I like musicals. Grease, I like the music in Grease. I like the musical format. I have no problem with that. I've never seen this in performance. I've never seen the theatrical performance of this. I've seen the trailers of this. I really have no interest. Am I wrong? Can you convince me to go see this? Or am I right to say, you know what? I think I'm just going to let this one slide.
I can't convince you to see it. You were right in thinking you should let it slide.
Okay.
Even if you're a fan of musicals.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed. I have seen the stage musical.
You have seen the stage performance. So you had a little bit of a standard to apply it against there.
I did. But, an argument should be you should be able to set that aside, and a movie should be a good movie regardless of, So, like something I've come to learn, though, this year, and I've known it in the past, but it's really been evident this year because there are two instances. I'll refer back to Life of Pi. Wonderful book, not good movie.
Yeah.
And sometimes things just, as much as you want to do it, I feel like they just don't translate well to film, whether it's script, director, whatever. This is something else. Wonderful play, wonderful musical, and they tried to translate it to film, and it just doesn't work. Can it work in other instances? Like you said, Sweeney Todd, Moulin Rouge, Chicago, liked all of those. But something about this just doesn't work. And I have to say, I think it's kind of the performances, two of the leads, Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe, especially Russell Crowe. It feels like he's dialing it in.
Really?
Yeah. And Hugh Jackman, he tries a little harder than Russell Crowe, but somewhere lost between the makeup because they make him age, and it just doesn't work. And something about this movie too, which I'm going to come down on the director for, Tom Hooper, he did King's Speech.
Yes.
And I thought that was fine, but in this, I just don't think he's meant to direct a musical, because showing me close-ups of somebody's mouth while they're singing, not attractive. No one wants to see that. I don't want to see Anne Hathaway's teeth close up. I mean,
she does have nice teeth, though.
Well, but if they put makeup on it and make her look like she's pouring stuff.
Sure.
But like a lot of times, like that's just not interesting. Actors' faces are interesting, but not an extreme close up, and not while they're singing. It's not flattering to anyone. It's like showing people eating. That's not flattering. So that kind of took it out of me. Granted, it is a musical, so you have to show people singing, but it's how they chose to frame it.
That's interesting.
I thought it lacked. So weak points were definitely Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe, and they're a big part of the movie. So if you don't like them, it's going to kind of suffer. I will say though, Anne Hathaway was a bright spot. She is
Okay, I've heard good things about her performance.
She is good. Not flattering when they show her close-up mouth singing, but hey. But she is good. Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham-Carter, they play the Thénardier couple who's kind of like comedic relief. They are awesome.
Okay, good.
But, not a surprise because Sacha Baron Cohen was also in Sweeney Todd, and he did wonderful in that as well.
Yeah.
So, but still,
he's good with those
spots.
kind of characters where he can just chew the scenery and just.
You'd think the role was written for him. It's not, but you would think it had been.
Sure.
And then somebody who I'm not aware of, but I was really impressed with her, was Samantha Barks, kind of an unfortunate last name. But she plays Eponine, and she is a character that you're supposed to care about, but I ended up caring about her more than I think I should have.
Okay, all right.
She has kind of a counterpoint who's Cosette, who they start the movie, one is rich, one is poor, and then they kind of flip-flop where they have reversal of fortunes, in a sense. And Cosette, who is played by Amanda Seyfried.
Seyfried, yeah.
She did nothing for me as well. And I thought she kind of failed all over the place. So you got three people that you're really supposed to grab hold of and pay attention to, and all three of those I just didn't care that much for.
What about something I've wondered when I see the previews for this is kind of the spectacle of it all. I mean, it's a historical piece. It seems to have a lot of big set pieces. I saw some scenes with, a lot of people up on a stone wall and all this.
Right.
I mean, visually, did this film work at all? I mean, you kind of hit on the performances and the way that was shot.
Well, okay, I'll say that, costume-wise and everything, great. But it was a spectacle in the sense that Lincoln was a spectacle.
Right. Okay.
Lincoln's not a musical.
Yeah.
So Lincoln was, but it was a spectacle in that you had these grand battle scenes, and it gave you a sense of history. Les Mis, yes, gave me a sense of history, but wasn't satisfying cinematically because it didn't take advantage of being a musical and didn't make it dynamic and moving, and it was very stagnant, and it honestly made the running time seem painfully long.
It was 2 hours and 37 minutes.
And it felt all of it.
Wow.
And, it's not because of the story, because, having seen the play, I knew the story, but it just kind of just laid there up on screen for me. So, and I have to fault, I guess, the direction.
The reviews, I did kind of check in to see how it's faring in general, and the reviews are fairly split on this. I mean, with some people saying it's pretty good, some people saying it's not so great. I don't really hear many champions of it, and I don't really hear many people saying they hated it. It was just more a matter of it just didn't really work. I think it's a good summary for a lot of people.
I think it just doesn't really work, and I have to come down to just the cinematography and the staging and the direction of it, because the acting is what it is, and the songs are fine. I will say one of the things, I think if you haven't seen the play at all, then you could probably go see this and like it a lot more than I feel like if you really love the play, I kind of feel like you'll be disappointed.
Well, that was going to be my last question, is knowing that you have seen the play.
Right.
Do you think that jaded you in any way towards this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're thinking someone like me who have never seen the play, maybe I might go in and have a little more of a fresh approach to it, maybe enjoy it a little bit more than you did?
I think so. And I think it's possible.
Okay.
I still think, though, Alan, I think you'll be bored.
Well,
I think you saw the
bored
previews.
watching the trailers.
Right. You kind of got a flavor from the trailers, and you're like, you know what? I think I'm going to skip that, even though I think you did yourself a service.
Okay.
I'll say, too, the other thing that I hated about this was, I'm pretty sure because of Oscars, they threw in a song called Suddenly, and the reason they made up a new song for this movie was so that it would then be nominated for an Oscar, and guess what it was? It was like a screeching record needle across a record when it came on to me. I felt like it didn't fit in, and it was just shoehorned in there so that they could get a song nominated for an Oscar and get attention. That really irritated. Granted, it's because I'd seen the play that I'm pretty sure this song called Suddenly, because I think the way the rules work in Oscars is if it's a song that's written for the movie, it can be nominated. If it was already in existence, it can't be nominated.
I think you're probably right with that.
So,
it seems like anytime they create a musical out of a well-beloved, take a musical from a stage, convert it to a movie, it almost always seems like they'd have to add in an original song, or they feel the need to do that. And, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So
some nerd trivia I'm going to throw at you.
Okay.
And I think the reason this is totally going off the rails as far as like this, but I'm just going to throw it in there. I think the reason that Oscar rule, the first time I ever became aware of it, was because for Moulin Rouge, which is a musical that I love, there was a song in there that to me, I thought was original. But on technicality, it was actually, Baz Luhrmann had it written for Romeo and Juliet with the Leonardo DiCaprio thing, and it wasn't used.
Oh, wow.
But then they used it in Moulin Rouge, and it was amazing, but they couldn't be nominated for an Oscar because technically...
Which song was that?
See, now, if I was a true nerd, I'd be able to spout it.
'Cause I love Moulin Rouge.
Oh, I do too. And I can't remember. But if you think of Come What May, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like an amazing song. And like I remember the Oscar, I'm like, where is this song?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, that's a rule that if it is written
Interesting.
prior, it has to be written specifically for the movie.
Gotcha.
So that's just my little soapbox. But
So Chris is not actively recommending
No.
Les Mis
No.
as a film-going experience, but it does sound like there's a bright spot, possibly if you're not already a fan or have not seen the stage performance, you might be able to go in with a little more acceptance of it.
yeah,
Possibly. Yeah, but you still sound like it's a pretty arduous process to watch the film.
I mean, if you 2.5 hours, you feel like you need to get your money's worth out of your $10.
All right. Well, that's our review. Keep in mind that's just from Chris.
Yeah,
I have
it's
not
just me.
seen the film, so one person's
Alan may
review
love
there. We always like to try to come back at some point if we catch up on each other's reviews and see if we want to argue with them or not. So I will definitely let you know if I end up seeing it soon. I'll definitely come on the mic here and let you know what I think. All right. Well, that's been our Footcandle Spotlight, your little quick hit of Footcandle throughout the month. We appreciate you listening. If you have any questions for us, just visit us on the website at themesh.tv. Drop us a note and let us know feedback, thoughts, questions, or anything else. Until next time, we will see you at the movies. Take care.
Adieu. That's French for goodbye.
You are so good.
Watch news through the courtesy of Footcandle Film Society.
Special thanks to Carpal Tuller for the show theme music. For more about Carpal Tuller, visit www.carpaltuller.com. You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.